Willie, the Cheltenham Festival is almost upon us. Just tell us, how is the mood in the camp here at Closutton with the big meeting fast approaching?
It's good. I think most of the horses, well, all the horses are in great form. We one or two little setbacks, nothing to worry about, I think. Really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fantastic festival. I mean, when we saw the people at Dublin Racing Festival at Gorham the other day, everyone's itching to get back, and I can imagine the crowds in Cheltenham are going to be fantastic. The atmosphere will be, I think, the best ever atmosphere at this festival.
Talk to me about the strength of your team this year. Do you think it's every bit as good as previous years, if not better? Could this be the best you've ever had?
It's hard to say that, but we have huge strength and depth, right down from the Boodles Gold Cup down to the handicaps down at the bottom, and we're lucky that we have good runners in most of the big races, so if you want to go through those, like
well,
or a few of them, but, and we're very well represented in the novice races, the bumper, I love having a good team of novices. It means you're going to have a nice team for the next 4 or 5 years for the future of the yard.
One horse who was a very good novice hurdler, of course, was appreciated. The champion hurdler has been good to you over the years. What sort of chance realistically do you give him of topping Honeysuckle off this long absence?
I'm not worried about the absence, I think. I'm just worried about beating Honeysuckle. She has been unbeatable so far as I know. Even in her 2 schooling bumpers before she went point to pointing, she won those as well. So Harold Kirk tells me, he was there, and she's going to be a tough nut to crack, but Appreciated did a fabulous bit of work last Sunday week, and if I don't need to build on that. If I can just keep them in that sort of order, I'd be very happy.
Does it give you a lot of confidence that you've done it before off these long breaks with horses like Penhill and Vega?
Yeah, unless we had, you wouldn't probably try to attempt it, but it's been a good way to go for us over the years, that if we have the horse with the ability, we're not afraid to go.
Probably the race of the season in the run-up to the Cheltenham Festival, Willie, was that Ascot epic between Shishkin and Energumene. And I know after that race you were talking about having a bit of a think tank here with the team, Ruby Walsh, David Casey, your son Patrick, about what you could do different for the rematch at Cheltenham. How has that gone? Have you come up with a few good ideas?
It went very well. It took about 5 minutes. And I just said what I thought, and I think a few people agreed with me, and we've left it until it comes down to declaration time, and especially the declaration of jockeys, which way Paul is going to jump. And I imagine, I don't know what he's going to do, but he certainly has a tough task with Chacun Pour Soi or Energumene. I mean, Chacun hasn't shone when he's gone over there, but it could be tough then for Energumene to beat Shishkin, so Paul has to decide which horse could beat Shishkin.
And what about Chacun Pour Soi? I mean, you guys love this horse here. Does it irk you that maybe people feel he's not a good traveller? Are you going to try anything different this year?
Well, yeah, it does, and we're going to do something different this year.
Can you tell us what?
I'm just going to bring him there a bit fresher. Normally we probably train them through the eye of a needle to have them ready for Cheltenham, and possibly this fellow doesn't enjoy that. Maybe the travelling will take too much out of him, or the few days that he spends in Cheltenham. So maybe if we bring him there a bit fresher, it might suit him better.
And it has the potential to be one of the races of the week. Is that how you see it? If they all run their races, do you think there'll be much in it?
I think it could be the race of the week. We think a lot of Chacun Pour Soi. Lots of people rate the other 2 horses highly. So if they all have a clear round, if Shishkin has a clear round, he's going to be very hard to beat, because he beat us making 2 mistakes in Ascot. And if he has a clear round, he's going to be very hard to beat on a track that he loves as well.
Another of your star chasers, Willie, is Allaho, and I know you've mentioned he could well be your banker of the week. To me, it was the performance of last year's Cheltenham Festival. How confident are you that we might see something similar from him in this year's Ryanair?
I'm hoping he can do the same. He was just poetry in motion jumping last year. One of the best performances I've ever seen around Cheltenham jumping. And if he can get back there in that form, he is in that form at the moment. So all he needs to do is just have a bit of luck on the day and jump like he did. And whatever beats him will win, I think.
The Gold Cup itself, Willie, new sponsor this year, of course, Boodles have come on board. I'm sure you'd love to win it again in their first year since lending their name to the title. What about Album Photo and Tornado Flyer?
Yeah, Boodles have been tremendous sponsors in Cheltenham since about 2014, and the Boodles Fred Winter Race. So now I've graduated up to the Gold Cup. Really looking forward to trying to win that if we can, and I'm sure Jackie is. I never know what sort of jewellery we might get, but I think Album is. He won in Tramore. He was very good winning in Tramore. I worked him last week, gave him a hard bit of work. I was a little disappointed, but I have been very hard on him up to this point because the fact he didn't race. And I think he's another one that I'll just freshen up a bit. He's fit as a flea, and if he can get there, he will we know he loves the track, we know he loves the trip. Everything is right about him. Then we have Tornado Flyer, who won the King George in Kempton. A lot of people are wondering, would a stiff 3 miles and 3 miles 2.5 furlongs? I actually think he might be better. The way he was ridden in Kempton, if Danny does something similar, I don't see the extra 2.5 furlongs being any problem. So looking forward to him there. If Asterion for Launch goes there, he ran a cracker in Kempton too. He just seems to find fences to make mistakes at. If we could iron that out, he must have a chance as well.
And Willie, a horse we might see in future editions of the Boodles Gold Cup, of course, is Galopin Des Champs. He's been one horse that everyone's been talking about so far this season, and in fairness to the horse, he's doing his talking on the track. Just how excited are you to see what he can do over there?
I think we're all looking forward to Galopin Des Champs. What he did at Christmas was fantastic for a beginner. Came back then in a Grade 1 race, which was a big jump up. He won it well, but I think the difference in pace showed up his, any bit of flaw that was in him, and I think that run will bring him on hugely. I think in time he could be a Boodles Gold Cup horse.
A lot of talk about what race he might be targeted at, and I know Ruby has spoken about maybe the Turners being a good fit for him this time around. What are the factors that will make up your mind finally on that?
Well, I think if Paul is happy to ride him in the Turners, that's where I'm favouring to go. You know, he jumps very slick, and if he goes for the 3 mile race, Paul is going to have to try and temper his jumping, and that mightn't suit. We might do that yet, we'll see, but my first inclination is to go for the shorter race.
He looks the standout amongst the novice chasers. Just maybe pick out a couple of other names in that division, though, you're looking forward to, if you can whittle it down.
We're represented by Blue Lord in the Arkle. He's done nothing wrong, 3 out of 3, I think, here in Ireland. The Edward Stone is probably the one that we have to beat. We're looking forward to taking him on. We have nothing to lose. Capadano was very good his last couple of runs, and I think the trip of the Brown Advisory would suit him, and the way he jumps as well. He's nice and relaxed, but he can turn it on when he wants to, and I think an out-and-out trip is what he favours. Statler is in the National Hunt Chase. He jumps very well. I think he has plenty of stamina. Patrick is looking forward to riding him there. I'm looking forward to seeing him in that race as well. So they're good enough at the moment anyhow, to be thereabouts.
And in the Novice Hurdlers, Willie, the two that everyone's really been talking about are Dynamo and Sir Gerhard. How's their preparation been going? And again, what's your thinking in terms of how you're going to divide those two up?
Both preparations are very good. I was very taken with how Sir Gerhard jumped the first day. Now the second day we made the running with him, and I think he was a little green in front, but I think he'll be fine now that Paul knows that. He doesn't have to lead. If the pace is slow, he'll probably just wait for somebody to come up around him and give him and then I think we'll overcome that. I think he's an excellent jumper. He was just in front, he was just a little green, but that'll be okay for the next time. He's a much more relaxed horse, I think, than Dynamo, but Paul does tell me that Dynamo will settle. He elected to ride him out the front before, but he said he doesn't have to be that way. I think Patrick might have ridden him in a bumper and settled him in behind and thought he was okay. So it will depend on where Paul thinks either horse might go best. So I'll be taking a lot. I'll be listening to Paul a good bit before we do declarations.
Sounds like you're pretty happy though. Both horses could be effective in either race from this remove, are you?
Well, I think Sir Gerhard will have no problem in either race. If Paul is not happy that Dynamo will settle in the Ballymore, you know, that might affect our decision. So a lot will depend on what Paul thinks, I think.
And they're the two headline Novice Hurdlers, Willie. Are there any potential surprise packages there that maybe aren't necessarily household names as yet?
Well, we run one in the Fred Winter, Gaelic Warrior, and he has some nice form in France, and he might have a nice handicap mark. You know, I think he's favourite for the race now, but he's worked very well at home here last week.
And has this been the plan with him all along, once you saw the handicap mark, straight to Cheltenham?
Yeah, we thought we'd give it a go. You know, it's hard sometimes to come from jumping French hurdles back to Irish hurdles, and he's jumped Irish hurdles. We were supposed to bring him up to the Curragh the other day to go on the round, but it was cancelled because of the weather, so we'll get him there before Cheltenham anyhow to do a full circuit of Irish hurdles. I don't see it being a problem, but it would be good to get it under his belt before he goes to Cheltenham.
He's a 4-year-old, obviously, Willie, and you're very strong in that division too. What about the Triumph Hurdle Vauban disputing favouritism after his win at Leopardstown? Is he your clear number one?
Yeah, he is. I mean, he goes there with only 2 runs, and I think plenty of improvement. I care Allen as well. He didn't jump the first hurdle the last day in Leopardstown. I think, he's not far away either.
The race.
He might go for the Boodles Fred Winter.
The handicap.
The handicap, yeah, but he's a fair tool, I think.
Willie, the race you've been synonymous with for so many years at Cheltenham is, of course, the Festival Bumper. What about this year's crop of bumper horses? Because from the outside looking in, they've been so impressive, headed, of course, by Facile Vega.
Yes, I think we've a real good crop of bumper horses. Facile Vega, his form the last day, I mean, it blew me away. I was on the stand thinking, I didn't know whether he was going to win or not, turning for home. And then when he got into the straight, I said, okay, looks like he's going to win. And then Patrick just hit him a slap, and he just opened up. To me, that was wow. You know, I hadn't seen nothing like that for a long time. And you know, we've had some very good bumper horses over the years. So if I can get him there in one piece, and he takes to the atmosphere and everything else, I think, you know, he'll be hard to beat. But we have some good bumper horses behind him as well. Redemption Day was very good at Christmas. He missed his Dublin Racing Festival target, but he's fine now. James's Gate won the other day in Punchestown. Madman Game won in Navan. I mean, I'm not sure Mercury will go. He was very good, but he's only 4. I know the 4-year-old's getting allowance, but they haven't a great record around Cheltenham. Possibly he's a big horse. Maybe I'll just keep him at home. But I'll have a word with Connections and see what they want to do. You know, we've a couple of others to come out, but maybe we won't have time to qualify them. It might be just getting too near the festival. And do all those horses you mentioned there compare favourably with previous winners you've had of that race? I think so. Yeah, I think, you know, we think if we hadn't Facile Vega there, we'd still be going there with a chance. Final couple of questions. Well, you mentioned the horse and the Boodles there. I know handicaps aren't your priority for the week. The focus is on the grade ones, but are there any others you're looking forward to running, maybe in some of those big handicaps? I just can't think about them at the moment. We'll have plenty in them, but I don't think we've anything like San Roy or anything like that that's unexposed. You know, a lot of our horses are exposed, unfortunately. And Willie, final question. If I could offer you maybe one result above all that would particularly please you over the whole week, what would it be? Maybe a third Gold Cup for Albion photo, Shachan silencing the doubters, or maybe I think I'd love to see Shachan first of all winning. He's, you know, favourite horse of mine, and I think he's got to go over there and get his name on the board in Cheltenham. I'd love to see him winning. Thanks, Willie. Well done. Thanks.